Hi, it's Cathy with City Farmhouse Studio. Welcome to my studio. Thought I'd try something a little bit different today so you can get to know me a little bit more beyond my voice and just seeing my hands make stuff. So I have this to where I can kind of introduce myself, tell you a little bit about me, and let you kind of see what all's going on here at City Farmhouse Studio. Again, my name is Cathy. I am married to a wonderful husband named Brandon, and we have two beautiful daughters, one named Red. Well, it's not her name, but that's what I'm going to refer to. She's 11, and then Blondie is 9. I just messed up on my pattern, but it's okay. I'm making a low gauge swatch for a new project. See how I'm liking it. So far, it's turning out pretty good, if I remember the pattern. I first started this back in January, so I had to reteach myself. I have notes, but had to relearn where I'm supposed to make all these stitches, and it's proving harder than I thought it would, but I'll get through with it. And that's one of the fun things of crochet and knitting, is you get to learn something new or reteach yourself in figuring out a new project and a pattern and how it all puts together. Challenges our brains, and it's good for us. We always need to learn something new. So I am in what I call my yarn studio. It is a spare bedroom for our house, hence the bed behind me. I have all of my yarn boxed up or in little drawers or in the cubbies back here. And then I have my LK150 knitting machine and most of my reference materials. But then my standard knitting machine is downstairs because fitting two knitting machines in one room takes up a lot of space. Unlike the hand knitting and crocheting, where you just have a little bag of hooks or needles in a jar or something, knitting machines comes with a little more bulk, so that's spread out a little bit more. I do have project bags that I take with me, and thankfully my husband never says anything about them being left around the house. So always like good project bags, so if you know of a good one, send it my way. Let me know what you like to use for what projects. I have one that I take my vacation socks in. So anywhere we go on vacation, I take socks to work on. I make them by hand. Something I don't design myself, so they're my vacation ones. And then I try to get yarn from local yarn stores from wherever we travel. So that way, those socks, not only do I remember where we got them from from the yarn, but also as I make them, I can kind of connotate different stories from the travels. If you have kids, you know those stories with making them. So it's always fun to wear my traveling socks. So I have a project bag for that. And then I have one that it's actually the Mama's Got a New Bag pattern on the website. And I have my current work in progress pattern in that I'm making. It is a crochet top. And then I have another project bag. And it's like if we're going on a road trip to my in-laws, or to a game that's far away. It's actually a big Carhartt bag, and that is where I'll put my work in progress yarn. I'll put my work in progress yarn in that, along with snacks of things, so that it carries a little bit more, because usually things get dumped in that for our trips. But I need one for like knitting. What's a good knitting project bag? So I don't know if you can see the cat's tail. Jewel is up here. She's licking my ankle. She is not my cat. It has taken her 4 years to find out that I am her friend. Being the one that trims their nails, I am not the family favorite among the pets. They do not choose me first. But they are finding out I'm not really all that bad. And Jewel, who is Red's, is finally learning that I will pet her and I will give her food and not just trim her nails. So we do have 2 more cats, so 3 total. Jewel actually was in a pattern, the Jewel blanket, weren't you? She was a little kitten in that one. She's a little bit bigger. And then Donut, who is Blondie's. He's also 4. He's in the Red Heart Scrubby. And then he's also been in some YouTube videos. The Dream of a Knit cardigan. He was in that one. And then the baby. He is about 8 months old. And he acts like a toddler in his terrible twos. Always into stuff. That's Oreo. And that is also Francis's. And we got him shortly after Darla passed. It just wasn't right with only 2. So he definitely has added a lot of entertainment and drama to this family. He never sleeps. He's always into everything. He's the escape artist, so it took 4 of us trying to catch him outside yesterday. So always panics the girls whenever he runs out. But he's black with a little bit of white. He runs out so fast that you don't even know he's gotten out. But we notice because usually if we're out and about, he's out and about and making his presence known. And my husband got home from work and he's like, "Where's Trouble?" And we didn't see him, and so thankfully Brandon went out and I just hear him, "Oreo, Oreo, Oreo." So I run out and help him chase him back inside. So he had just gone out into our front yard, which is actually a side yard because our house is an old farmhouse and everything's kind of built up around the farmhouse and is now a little city, hence City Farmhouse Studio. But the road was put in, I think, in the 40s, and we think this house was built around 100 years before that. So the sitting planning completely changed compared to how this house was built for its property. So the front of the house is actually on the side to the road. So Oreo went to our front side of the house, which is just a long driveway that thankfully he didn't run out to the road. But he's okay. He got his head dunked in water, trying to find a way to discourage him from running out. It had worked for a while. It had been a few weeks since he had tried to make his escape before, but I guess he seized his opportunity there. I've completely lost where I am. Got turned around. I am wearing my crochet I Want to Dance with Someone dress. We do live in Michigan, and fall is quickly approaching. It's gray, it's rainy, the leaves are starting to turn. October is usually our transitional month, and then once November hits and winter, the leaves are starting. You're just waiting for that one good storm where the trees go bare. So we have 1 month of fall, I think, in my opinion. So while it's warm and I can wear all the short sleeves and lighter weight garments I've made, I'm wearing them, because soon enough I will be wearing my sweaters, I'll be wearing my cardigans, and I'll be all bundled and warm. So, and I'll be waiting for this project. Nice, bulky crochet sweater. This yarn is the Butterlux Cream Roving. It's from Joann's. I haven't used it before, but I'm really liking this colorway. And we'll see with the roving. I'm typically not a roving fan, but the color just, I had to have it. And it's wool. So being in Michigan, I have found that wool has become my new best friend in winter. Also living in the old drafty farmhouse. Whenever it's just me by myself, I don't heat this whole thing up, so wearing as many layers as I can to keep warm and not have to pay for the heating bill. Warm wool sweaters and hats and scarves, socks are very, very nice. I've gotten a little yarn barf, trying to sort it out. For the life of me, I always get them. Thankfully, the cats aren't up here. That would create even more issues. I'm doing a little bit bigger gauge swatch because I'm going to block it. I always do wet blocking, just like how I wash my garments and lay them out. You give it a good stretch, because inevitably as you wear, the weight of the garment just stretches everything out, and then as you move it stretches it out. So I block it to stretch it out, and that way I can hopefully mitigate some of the disaster. As you wear it, nothing like making something and then as you wear it, it becomes 2 sizes bigger. I was going to take a project to a football game this weekend. My husband and I went to the University of Michigan football game. I am not a big football fan. I like it as an excuse to sit for a couple hours and just knit or crochet and know that we're just going to be sitting and having snacks, and that's going to be the day. So that's why I like football. But my husband's a Michigan alum, and so once a year I try to go to a game with him. He enjoys it. I like people watching it, and I do like watching the game to some extent, but just the price of tickets, for me to just sit there and watch people and have, I care who wins, but I'm not a diehard fan. The tickets just kind of are a little much to go on a regular basis. So I was going to look to take a craft project along to do in the stands, especially since we were going to get there early. And I know this game was going to be on TV, and sometimes those delays just get monotonous. So I looked online, and they now have where you can't even bring any bag into the stadium. It used to be where you could bring in a small one or a clear one, but now nothing. So I guess people are not allowed to knit or crochet in the stands. If you have and you know a way, please let me know how you managed. Our youngest, Blondie, does play soccer, and I like watching her play. Of course, as watching your own kid play a sport, I'm sure, is a little biased and a little different than professional sports. I missed a stitch. So Blondie's the soccer player, and Red is basketball, and she's in the choir. And Red is very much more like me with the arts and crafts. She's always making something. She has started to knit and crochet, but she usually doesn't stick with it to even finish a project. She'll work on something a few days and then has moved off. She has much gravitated towards the drawing, the coloring with markers. What she can do with markers amazes me. And then she's really found her niche with clay sculpting. She's created these little bitty characters and given them their own personalities, and then she'll paint them, and they're just really, really cute. My neighbor has said so too, so it's not just the family biasness. So. And then we'll see how Frances goes. Just talking and making all these different mistakes in here. A couple too many stitches, not enough stitches. That's one thing I like about crochet though, is it's easier to go back and fix than knitting. I do like knit garments better. The weight of them, and the more often than not the smoothness and just the structure of the stitch just appeals to me more. Crochet has its benefits too, and for certain items, but I like the different textures that you can get a little bit easier, I think, with crochet. It goes quicker, and if you pull your tool out, you only have one loop and not the whole thing. Just for me is a little more relaxing. I did start off with crochet, learning it, so I may be a little more partial. let me know if you have any questions you would like me to answer. Anything of interest for you. I'd like to know if you have any ideas or thoughts for patterns, what you'd be interested in seeing. What yarns do you like using? What stores do you go shop at? I've been going to Michael's. I used to be a Joann's. I used to only go to Joann's. And now I am finding I am really liking Michael's. The Premier yarn has kind of won me over. And then our Joann's just seems to be getting, change them who they're selling yarn to. They have a lot more bulky and worsted yarn than anything else. Not saying that's bad, but there's not many fine or even DK weight yarn that I'm seeing too much of, besides sock yarn, Pattern sock, or Grace, and their colorways just aren't appealing to me. Another yarn barf. I don't know what's with this. Okay, now I can go. Where was I? I'm about done, I think. I think I've gotten a good amount. I wish I had made it a little bit wider, but that's okay. Can still get a good read. Well, I'm going to have to leave to go pick up Red soon. She's in middle school and they get out shortly. She had state testing today, her second day of it in reading. So they have to change classes and they only have that class period to take the test. So it just keeps carrying on from day to day. So she was not super thrilled to be taking another test. So I have to go and see how she did. And then Blondie was having music. And so far she has not liked this music teacher, which surprises me. But she was dreading it. So hopefully they both had good days. They tend to have lunch as their favorite part of the day. So, go figure. So, anyway, thank you for watching. Till next time. Talk to you later. Bye.